Ho Nelly, the NPD for June 2018 has arrived. That is the sales update for North America. And my gosh, is there some shockers in here. Maybe the biggest shock of all is that for the top 20 software, with not even counting digital sales in the mix for Nintendo, Mario Tennis Aces was the best selling game in the NPD area for June of 2018, which is amazing considering that it was a game that came out in the later part of the month. And obviously, we're talking about Mario Tennis Aces. It beat out the likes of God of War, Grand Theft Auto 5, The Crew, Far Cry 5, and yes, even Nintendo's own Mario Kart 8. Quite amazing, if you ask me, that Mario Tennis did. Obviously, it is, of the ones I mentioned, it is the newest of them on that list. But still, if you're wondering where other Nintendo games finished for June, obviously I talked about Mario Kart 8. This is the deluxe version. Finished in the number 6 spot. Super Mario Odyssey was at number 11. Breath of the Wild was at number 12. And Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze was all the way down at number 19. So there you go. Nintendo had some nice performers for the month. All of these happen to be exclusive games, but it is Mario Tennis Aces that came out on top. What's actually really interesting about the Mario Tennis Aces thing is Mario Tennis Aces actually set a record as Nintendo's best-selling tennis game when it comes to the first month sales. So yeah, Mario Tennis Aces, man. We know how much it sold. I think 1.38 million overall in June, but that worldwide. But obviously, a huge chunk of those sales came right here in North America. In other news, there was the grand total. This is industry-wide figures. Were $1.08 billion made in June. That's up 25% from $864 million in June of last year. Hardware-wise, $350 million, 52% up from the $231 last year at the same time period. PC and console software, this is overall for the whole industry, is $374 million, down 1% from $379, and accessories reached $353 million, which is a 38% bump from last year that was at $255. Nintendo Switch physical-only games went in order of Mario Tennis Aces, then Mario Kart 8, then Super Mario Odyssey, then Breath of the Wild, then Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, and then Lego The Incredibles, then Splatoon 2, then Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Kirby Star Allies, Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. That's just Nintendo Switch only games, counting physical copies only. Nintendo 3DS, on the other hand, for their games, even though they didn't chart in the top 20, this is what they had for physical sales on 3DS in terms of the order the game sold. The number one selling game for June for 3DS was Pokemon Ultra Sun. Number 2 was Pokemon Ultra Moon. Number 3 was Mario Kart 7. 4 was Super Smash Bros. 5 was Super Mario 3D Land. 6 was Detective Pikachu. 7 is Minecraft. 8 was Mario Party The Top 100. 9 was Super Mario Maker. And 10 was The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. The best-selling games of 2018 so far has Far Cry 5 at number 1. God of War at number 2, Monster Hunter World at number 3, Call of Duty World War II at number 4, Dragon Ball FighterZ at number 5, number 6 is Grand Theft Auto 5, number 7 is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Again, a top 10 seller this year, even though the game came out over a year ago. NBA 2K18 chimes in at number 8, MLB The Show chimes in at number 9, and yes, Super Mario Odyssey is in that 10 spot for best-selling games of 2018. Over the past 12 months, I think we'll just skip over that. There's a few other Nintendo games in there. Not really. It's mostly just Super Mario Odyssey, to be honest, but that's okay. Let's move on to other various details. Nintendo was actually the month's top publisher, even without the NPD group tracking digital sales. So this just means physical sell games only. Nintendo published games sold better and did better numbers than any other publisher on the market for the month. Obviously, headlined by Mario Tennis Aces. Switch was the only platform that produced software sales growth in June. That does mean that obviously all the other platforms saw, a decline in their sales for in terms of software. The Switch was the only platform that produced growth in June. Talked about that. The Switch dollar sales more than doubled those of June 2017. That's just in terms of pure money. Year-to-date software sales of Switch are also more than double those of a year ago. PlayStation 4 was the best-selling console for the month of June, but Switch did see a sales increase year over year. That increase was over 50% more. So there you go. Switch is continuing to grow year on year. The best-selling piece of hardware overall was actually the NES Classic Edition. So while PlayStation 4 topped as best-selling console, the NES Classic actually outsold everything. This is the first time that the Nintendo Entertainment System of any kind has led in monthly unit sales since the NPD began tracking data. They weren't tracking it back in those days. Accessories in game card category grew by 31% year over year, hitting $1.8 billion. Game cards hit all-time high sales, and accessories generated more revenue since 2011. Headset sales were also twice as high as June 2017, up 86% year to date. Probably doesn't have a lot to do with Nintendo. There are Switch headsets, and you can use other headsets with Switch, but very few games that actually take advantage of localized voice chat. Anyways, these are just crazy numbers to me. Nintendo had a crazy good June. I realize that obviously PlayStation 4, 5 years in, had a better overall sales month in terms of hardware than Nintendo, at least when it comes to Switch. Obviously, NES Classic just killing it out there. But yeah, I'm really shocked that Mario Tennis Aces was a top-selling game. Not because it was, one of the only major new games to come out in that month, but just I didn't think Mario Tennis Aces had that kind of sales potential. But as we saw with it already being on the million sellers list and only being out for, at the time, a couple weeks at most worldwide, obviously Mario Tennis Aces is doing well. I'm very interested to see actually if it charts in July too. But yeah, there you go. That's the NPD report. Nintendo doing well with NES Classic. Yes, the NES Classic being the top-selling platform with Mario Tennis Aces as the top-selling software. Good stuff. All right, folks, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for tuning in for this update on the June NPD. I will catch you guys in the next one.